4.3 stars on Amazon, and over 300,000 reviews. I had to check these out, especially because they're 30 bucks. And Tozo, I have no idea what these are about, but for some reason, out of nowhere, they started just popping up on all of my feeds and all of my article suggestions. So I don't know what they're doing in the marketing front, but I was surprised when I saw how many people reviewed this on Amazon and why it was holding up so well in terms of the reviews. But I want to see if these actually hold up, because if they do, they have some interesting features in here that would make them compelling, you know, just as a beater headphone, even if you are not using this as your main driver. Might be a good backup headphone to have and good for certain activities that we'll talk about. But let's get into some of the specs before we get more in depth. The T10s are a true wireless set of Bluetooth 5.0 earbuds, checking in around $30. The earbuds come packed with your standard fare of user manual charging cable and silicone tips. Tozo has also included a tether that can be attached to the case. This tether is super long, and I'm not exactly sure why it's so long. Maybe they want you to use it as a necklace? No clue. The case itself has a translucent top, and you can see the indicator lights for battery levels. The plastic build feels a little bit cheap, and the size is quite chunky. The case charges via USB-C or wireless Qi charging. It takes about 2 hours to top up this case, where you get about 24 additional hours of charge. The earbuds are relatively low profile, and I found them to push out just over 6 hours per charge. Unfortunately, they only support SBC and AAC codecs, but they do rock a pretty solid frequency range at 18 Hz to 20 kHz. Alright, let's talk about the fit and function a little bit. And, you know, if you give me a necklace, I might as well use it, right? I don't know who would rock this. This is not a vibe to me, but who knows? You know, if it's here, I'll use it. But the case overall is pretty big. But at least, you know, not all the headphone companies do this. At least they put left on left and right on right, so it's easier to pick out of your case and put it into your ears. The overall feel of these are pretty nice, and they're not too protrudy. They don't make me look like Frankenstein. The thing I will say on the activation sequence, the woman that talks, it's just a little bit weird every time I do it. It's like, power on. It's a little bit try-hardy on that one. I will say that there's sort of a long stem on here, so it is a little bit depthy. So there's a chance you can over-plug these into your ear, and if that happens, you will lose. There'll just be a suction in your ear and you'll lose some of that fidelity. So it's almost weird in the fact that you have to keep them halfway out your ear. They don't really fall out at all, but they just feel like they do sometimes with like the best distance. However, overall, they're pretty comfortable a long time. We'll go into the field and wear these more today to talk about that, but they are very sleek on head and they don't really get in the way. As we talk about the controls, they're actually really reliable. I was expecting these to be more trash, but they actually hold up in terms of touches, and there's not really any missed touches that I've ever felt. I do also like that they're really robust. While you can't control this on an app or configure any of these things, they do have a robust set of features that a lot of headphones actually don't do, and I don't know why they don't do this. I do love that the fact that they separate controls between the two headphones, so you have more access to the gestures, and you don't gotta play with your phone all that much. So on the left side, both sides, you know, one tap is play pause. If you do double tap on the left side, it's previous track. Double tap on the right side, it's next track. Really dope. And then you can hold, so left track hold or left earbud hold, you get a volume down, right volume up, and then you can do a triple tap for voice command or assistant on either ear tap. But the fact that they separate those, you can access volume on these, is something that not a lot of headphones do, and I wish more did. Just all those plethoras and separating out the controls instead of having the exact same clone controls is really, really convenient and really, really advanced, even though it should be something that's basic. So I will give it to them at 30 bucks. Pretty good job. But I think we do need to talk about fit more, so let's take these to the field. So we're actually not going to go to the field because I got looped into work last minute, so I'm going to do this from a hotel gym instead. However, for the workout, for the most part, it worked out, at least for the first 10 or so minutes. What happened here is there's a connectivity issue. The left side decided to crap out on me and just not connect at all, and because I was at the gym, I didn't bring the charging case with me because I just had woken up and did a workout and didn't expect to have that. So I had to do the rest of my workout with a single earbud experience, which was not great. I was not happy about that, and the fact that I had to bring that giant case with me just to get a resync was a little bit annoying. So that's probably the biggest convenience issue. But overall, I did a second day and it did sound pretty well. I could isolate out the gym music as well as other people talking. I did hear stuff like the elliptical or people running on the treadmill at faster paces, so those higher pitches definitely come through, but overall, pretty good experiences, as long as they keep both earbuds in sync, but unfortunately with mine, it was really inconsistent. So I want to come back to connectivity and just dive in a little bit more on some of the things that I've noticed while using these headphones. One of the issues that I've seen is that there's an inconsistency with its connectability. So inside my house, I get very limited range, probably within the room, maybe the next room, but some days it'll be able to expand the entire house, so then I don't exactly know what to tell you about its overall usage. We did try this in open air, and that was a lot more consistent, so I had somebody who could just walk out as far as she could, and we got to like 120 feet, and then it started cutting out, which is really, really good. But inside the house, you could get your entire house, or you can get part of your house. It just kind of feels like whatever that headphone wants that day. And very similarly was something with latency. So obviously this works for music, but when you go into watching videos or like editing videos, that's where I just saw a bunch of different things going on. One day when I was trying to edit reels for my friend's wedding, I saw the video that I had edited the night before, and it was all out of sync when I was looking at it exported. And I was like, was I on crack when I was doing this? But I wasn't, because I looked through other headphones and it was working fine. So I was just like, okay, this headphone has video latency issues, and it was confirmed when I was using YouTube and watching videos. However, I did go back to the headphones and just tried with a regular video the next day, and it was perfectly synced. There was no really lag in the audio. And then I tried again inside of Adobe Rush, and it was working fine for the reel that I was working on. So sometimes it fails and sometimes it's good. But overall, I just would say, like, I would not use this for video consumption just due to that inconsistency. But there's plenty more to talk about with these headphones. Let's talk about one of the features that I think is underrated, which is the waterproof ability. So one of the most surprising specs that I saw on these headphones is that it's IP68, which means that it's dust protectant, and you can submerge this for 30 minutes 1 meter down, which is impressive because most headphones are like IPX7 or something like that, which protect against liquids or protects against dust, but never at this rating. So for 30 bucks, that's great. I'm about to test this right now. I have music playing on my headphones. It's displacing water, or displacing air, so it seems to still be working. It's still working. I mean, the touch controls are going crazy, but they are working. Now let's try this for half an hour. Okay, so it's been a half an hour. Let's see if they still work. Oh, they definitely still work. I'm not gonna put these in my ears because I'll blast them out. Well, the waterproofing holds up. Let's test out the microphones.
Okay, so this is a sound test on the Tozo's outdoor setting. It's kind of windy. There's cars and a little bit of construction going on, but let me know how this sounds. I haven't checked this beforehand. Sometimes the microphone comes in and out because the left side decides to just get disconnected randomly, but so far so good on this recording. Seems to be going all right, so tell me how this sounds, and we'll go to an indoor sample right now. All right, so I just got off the phone with my parents, and they said that I sounded really muffled through these headphones, and it wasn't the clearest experience that they've seen from my phone calls with them. So these might not be the best thing if you're looking to use this for conferencing or just having conversations on the phone, because you're going to sound robotic. You're going to have some issues with clarity, and people may not be able to hear you the best. So there's definitely other headphones that are better for that. With that said, well, let's move on to everyday life and just see how the isolation holds up, especially because these don't have ANC. So very interested to see how that performs.
These do a relatively good job at 70% to, kind of block out your noises. In a cafe, really didn't hear all that much. It was really nice because I was really concerned because it didn't have ANC or anything like that. So I didn't hear any cafe music. I didn't hear people around me. I didn't hear any of the banging and clacking going on, which I was super surprised. It's very nice. However, since there's no transparency mode, I did have to take these out to talk to the baristas and all that sort of stuff. But again, 30 bucks, not expecting all of the features. The fact that this isolates so well is pretty solid. However, as I went outside, as I took this onto a plane, it degraded a lot more. So, you know, outdoor in public, you can hear things a little bit more, especially on a plane. You can literally hear the entire airplane. You can hear the dings, you can hear the intercom, you can hear the plane. So these are not going to be good for a flight. However, in your everyday life, it might be all right in terms of isolating that sound. Won't completely isolate you away and get you into your peace of mind. So something to notice, but in terms of passive isolation, it is no slouch and does a really good job. So let's go into some samples of simulated sounds so you guys get a sense of this isolation for yourself. We're going to talk about music. This music I went through pretty in depth, especially because I got my flight canceled. I had delays and I had to go from Florida to Atlanta to Boston in the longest flight ever. That should usually be 3 hours, but it was like forever hours. So I got plenty of time to listen to these headphones. Overall, they are good on the low end. Again, they're super warm, so they'll be well-rounded there, but there's times with the higher frequencies where it'll either go really harsh or it will emaciate voices. So I'm going to put this in one of these sides. I'm going to put my like notes inside the plane of what I think of all these songs, but I went through a ton of different tracks, ton of different genres, and this is what I noticed is that it was very good when the vibe stayed the same. This is especially good for like Afro beats where there's not a lot of juxtaposition or changes in the tones or melodies where you get inconsistencies. When you start introducing harmonies, it's super rough. It just gets super harsh. Everything like the lead singer gets washed out. For some reason, it's rough unless that singer is like Sammy Ray, where you have like a strong vocalist that can power through it. And even with her, there was some harshness in the way that she intonates on some of her notes. The harmonies were a rough one. Again, cymbals could come in really harsh, especially like when I was listening to some stuff in like my J-Rock stuff, it was super harsh. It was like, tss, 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 like you were just like, oh my Lord. And then there were other instances like Rainbow Kitten Surprise where it goes through volume changes and you can't hear anything. Like you got to pump it to 100% and you're still having volume issues, which sucks. And then when you pump it to 100, everything gets really harsh. And, you know, like that 70% is where things kind of stay mellow. But when you need to go to 100, everything sounds trashy. Everything sounds gross. And then the other thing that is if you are a lighter singer, like an airier singer, like Gabe Bonzak or her, like it just washes them out completely. I was super annoyed with that. It made the characteristics of singers like Mayer Hawthorne like seem like a pleb, like just a generic singer. It just took their characteristics out of their voice, and that was really displeasing to me. But again, if you're something that's more mellow, something that's just chill, if you do like the low end, the warmer sound in there, it will sound good for that. Again, a lot of mainstream, it'll be okay as long as it doesn't fluctuate in volumes or fluctuates in tempo a lot. It'll maintain some consistency, but otherwise, it's really not impressive. But again, I'm not expecting a lot out of $30, but that's just something you should know going into this. I'm going to hit in some sound samples. Obviously, I can't do all of these songs because they're copyrighted. So I'm going to show some tracks that are copyright free, just give you a sample of what's going on. But again, if you guys want to see a live stream where I do that, because I don't care if my live streams are copyright strike, I'll play those songs so you guys can hear it firsthand using my binaural mic. But overall, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you think of these samples.
going for a ride. I'm falling again. Don't even give myself that critical time to make. I'm falling again. Oh, no rules are there to build it up for the
So for a recommendation for the Tozo T10s, yeah, it's a little bit hard for me to put my thoughts around this perfectly because there are some quirks about it. Again, from a sound perspective, I'm not expecting something perfect. It's 30 bucks. It should be just reliable enough to listen to multiple genres and not really offend you. Again, there's a little bit of harshness, but the warm signature kind of just rounds things off, and you'll have a pleasant experience for the most part, as long as you're not critically listening. And at 30 bucks, I'm not expecting you to. But yeah, they're comfortable, guys. They're nice. But the problem is, and the reason why I'm gonna say not recommend, is because of the connectivity. If you can't stay connected to your phone, or you lose track of one of your earbuds, you're not gonna listen to your music. And it's really annoying because they become less convenient at that point. The whole purpose of true wireless earbuds are to be convenient, easy to go, and just grab and go and enjoy your life. With this one, I gotta carry this giant case everywhere just to resync the headphones pretty frequently. So to me, you're just getting locked out of your music and then just having this really cumbersome user experience. So to me, not really fun. So I would suggest, if you really want to go through the hassle of something like this and carrying something around, you might as well just go wired. The KPH30Is are going to be a great option. They're wired, however, they sound better, they're going to be more reliable, the mics sound better, and all that. So wired might be better for you. However, if you guys want to see a $30 true wireless set that might work, I can do some research, but let me know in the comments if that's something that you want. But that's going to be the review. Again, not really a recommend. There's probably a better option at 30 bucks, but yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking around for this review. And I appreciate that you guys have been helping grow the channel as well. Thank you to my OGs that helped drive this and attend my live streams to talk to me about tech, talk to me about different things in your lives. It's good to know who you guys are. So hopefully get a little bit more of you guys so we get a little bit more familiar faces. But if you could consider liking, subscribing, commenting, doing all things that you normally do on a video that you like and love. I'll see you very shortly. And as always, appreciate you. Peace.